Heaters is our next segment. So we're going to take a look at the heater, some tests and troubleshooting on the heater, and replacing a heater. So let's get some access to the motherboard and take a look at some of the connections inside. Take the plate off. I'm going to look in at the pack. Here are your two heater leads right here. You'll notice right off the bat that there's two wires. There's the one lead with two wires, second lead with two wires coming off of this one as well. It's going into your plug. So when you pull your plug off, you notice again that there's 4 pins. So you have 4 power pins, and the flat one is your ground. So these 4 power pins, obviously when they go back to the heater or to the elements, are going to be going back together again. So when you're checking the heater for its continuity, we're going to have to match those up. I've got a heater right here. So what we're going to check is the continuity on this heater. Place that so you can somewhat see it. Now, if we look at these pins, if I go to these far 2 pins right here, those 2 pins are connected to one side of the elements, and you'll notice right there that I have 0 resistance, well 0.1, which we can classify that as 0. And if I go to the other 2 remaining power leads, which will be this one and this one, again, I'll have 0 resistance because they're running from the same line to one side of the element. Now if I cross over, I'm going to end up, right now it's sitting at 10.9. We're going to run anywhere from 9 to 11 point something, say, but 10, that's the resistance that you're going to want to come across your heating element. So you're going to want your resistance sitting around 10. Now we're going to test off of the ground. You want to test from the ground to all 4 of those power leads, and you should get nothing. There should be no buzz and no current going across whatsoever, because you don't want power going to ground. You also check your power leads and know that there's no current can pass from one of the power leads to the ground. So that's sitting fine. All right, we're going to plug the heater back in. Another test, the heater must be plugged in. So if you don't have the heater hooked up whatsoever and you check, you could get a reading of your 240 volts. But it's false and it's under milliamps. So have it plugged in so it's under load with the heater. Check across with your voltage. See that you have voltage going to the heater. So you're going to read your voltage. Obviously this one isn't plugged in, I don't have anything. But you read, yes, I do have voltage going to the heater. The icon is saying that the heater's on. You can switch to amperage. Have an ammeter on you always. Go across your leads. You should read 20 to 21 amps. If you have less, then you have less wattage of heat going in, but 20, 21 amps is your 5500 watt element. Now, we're going to go through all that. If there's no amperage going and your voltage is going and the heater icon is going, obviously your heater has failed. Or if you have a direct short, like the breaker's tripping immediately, so you check from ground to any one of your leads, and and you're getting continuity across there, then you need to replace your heater as well. So we're going to go over replacing the heater. Heater sitting behind this pack, and it's possible to change the heater without taking the pack out, but for filming reasons we're going to remove the pack just so you can have a better visual. Okay, now we have the pack removed, and I've got some visual for you guys to see the heater. So we're going to go about removing this heater. We're going to take the leads off the pressure switch. When the spot's full of water, we have unions on both sides. There are ball valves and ball valves. So you've got a ball valve on your suction side, ball valve on the pressure side. We're going to close those off, just eliminate the spot from draining when we remove these unions. Remove your high limit probe. When removing these unions, unthreading them, when you get to the end, you're going to want to watch, sitting right inside, you have a flat gasket O-ring that's sitting in there. You're going to have a gush of water that comes out, so you want to make sure that when that water flows out, your O-ring doesn't get washed away or get washed underneath the pump and lose it. So we'll make sure we save those, set them off to the side. You pull your heater up, you're going to take a flathead screwdriver and disconnect the ground wire.
Yeah, sure. Am I signed in? Yes.
And you have your faulty heater. You're going to take your new heater and place the used pressure switch onto it. Threads on your pressure switch are a tapered thread. It's a tapered pipe thread on both sides, so you can put a bit of Teflon tape, but if you just continue to tighten it, as you tighten it, it'll actually become a tighter fitting. The pressure switch, put on. Ground wire gets hooked up. Now you see here, heaters all come with new heater tail pieces and the flat gasket O-rings inside here. So when I thread this off, that's a brand new heater tail piece. You can take that, put it into stock, and you have a brand new flat gasket O-ring. So you might as well, just for precautionary measures, always use the new O-rings or put it in inventory for a later date. Have unions snugged up on both sides. You're going to take your high limit probe. You're going to take our leads for the pressure switch. Plug those both in. Take our pack. We're going to mount it back in place. But what we can do right now is we'll plug all the equipment in. Plug all the equipment in, turn the pack on, run the spa, open your ball valves, and just make sure that it fires up. So now you can turn it on, fire the spa, make sure there's not an airlock, have the heater running, and while the spa is running and heating, you can push the rest of the bolts in to put the pack back into place, put the cover plate on, and then you know it's ran for a couple minutes before you leave the property. I'm just going to do a quick rundown on some key points. Your power leads, two of them share, so these two outside share, these two share for each side of the element. You're checking voltage, make sure the heater's plugged in or you're going to get a false reading. Checking your amperage is roughly 21, continuity is going to be roughly 10. And have a great day. One last little note is don't forget to always be checking for leaks. We're at the spa, we're looking around it, so if we're replacing the heater, there's total point in taking a look around the rest of the spa, see if there's one you just worked on. So once it's up and running and we've got everything sealed up, we know what's going good, take a look back at the last unions you were just working on, and even bring the customer down, explain to them where the unions are, how the unions work, the O-rings, etc. And so the customer is comfortable working on their O-rings or on the unions with the O-rings in them to get those tightened. Bye.